Welcome to the Airgun Show, brought to you by Airgun World magazine. Subscription details are in the show description. In this week's episode, I'm taking a look at the new FX DRS PCP airgun, but before that, we're joining Rich Saunders as he heads out to target rabbits at night.
Well, I'm down on the horse paddock again this evening. Now, by digging holes and scrapes in the fields, the rabbits are a real problem here, because if a horse puts a foot down a rabbit hole or a scrape, then it's going to lead to an injury that's, at best case scenario, is going to be an expensive bill for the owner. Worst case scenario, the horse is going to have to be destroyed. Now, it's a little bit of a thermal themed evening this evening, and I've come down early to have a little bit of a scout around. Now, thermal images are a real game changer in my mind. And I've used quite a few of them, and they're expensive, there's no getting away from that, but they're really worth the money. And this one, the Hick Micro Condor CQ50L Pro, is about the best I've used in actual fact. Has a laser rangefinder on it as well, and the image through it is really, really clear. The scope is another thermal product. It's an Infrared TP25 SE. Now, again, not a cheap piece of kit, but at a penny under £1,100, in the big scheme of thermal scopes, it's actually at the bottom end, and is designed specifically for airgun use, short to medium range airgun use. And that is held on with a set of sports match mounts as ever. And the rifle is a Pretensis, a Reximex Pretensis. It's a 2.2 12-foot-pound rifle, side lever, a 12-shot magazine, and this is the regulated version, which represents really good value for money at less than £600. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a little quiet look around, see if I can spot any rabbits. Then later on, when it gets dark, I'll get into position and try and ambush a few. Well, there's a few rabbits coming out now. I can see a few in the distance. They're a little way off, so I'm just going to have a walk down to the corner of the field, I think, and set up there. One lucky rabbit. And we're off and running. Nice clean shot, about 25 metres away. I lasered in with the Ranger. I'm going to swap between pallets, I think, on the scope to give you a different idea of the different colour pallets. That one was on the Black Hot, which was really nice and clear. But I'm just going to give it another few minutes here, because I think there might be one or two more here. Well, that was another nice clean kill. This time on the White Hot palette on the scope. I lasered him at I think 29 meters, something like that, and I forgot to hit record on the thermal, so I'm just hoping that the footage came out okay on the TP25 SE, fingers crossed. Well, that's number 3. He was only 23 meters away. I think he might have heard me because he sat nice and tall. Gave me a really clear shot and bowled him over straight away. Wow, there are loads of rabbits out tonight, and you can see why they're a problem on the paddocks. But as is always the way, they're far too far off for me to be able to take a shot from here. I think I'm going to make my way down there. I might scare them off, but hopefully they'll be back out again before too long, and I might get another 1 or 2 down there. Well, that one was a little bit further out, 30 meters, but bang on the 0, and he stood out really clear on the white hot setting. Well, that one was really close. I spotted him at 28 meters, and then he ran in to about 17 meters. I think he heard me or smelt me because he stood up really tall, and yeah, dropped him stone dead. Mind you, only 17 meters, so you should do really, but that's another clean one in the bag. Well, that was another really close one, about 20 meters. I think I'm going to call it a night there and go and pick up those rabbits. They're dotted around a little bit. But I'm meeting a mate of mine, Paul, in the morning, who's a professional chef, and he's going to show me how to prepare and cook a rabbit in the field. So yeah, stay tuned for another couple of minutes. So we had a really good night last night. Shot 5 or 6 rabbits. Now most of them have gone down to the my local falconry centre to feed the owls and the birds down there. But I've kept one back, and my mate Paul, who's a professional chef, is going to show us how to prepare a rabbit in the field. Obviously you could do this at home, and you wouldn't want to cook anything that you wouldn't want to eat anything that I've ever cooked, so which is why Paul is down here to show us how to do it properly.
So that's the head away, and we're just going to use today the main part of the rabbit, the saddle and the breast, which I'm just going to cut down here. Remove anything else. As I say, we've got the heart and various innards workings, but we don't need that today, so that's all just going to come away. And all I'm going to do in here, Rich has kindly brought us down a gas stove. I'm going to put some onion, a beef stock cube in there just for some extra flavour, some carrots and a little bit of garlic. Anything you have lying around at home will do, just to give it an extra bit of flavour. and then we're going to pop the rabbit in there, cook it for about 20 minutes. And you can see here I've got some taco beans in a tomato sauce, a little bit of oil, just some ketchup for some extra liquid there, and these are going to be the pre-made taco shells that we're going to use today. I would have a probe and just pop that into the thickest part of the rabbit to make sure that it's above 75 degrees, but I'm quite happy as we're out in the field that visually we need to where we are. So we're going to take this out of the cooking liquor now and cool it down. Just taking it apart, it would be the same as you take your Sunday chicken apart. You're just looking to make sure that the meat's cooked on the bone, and some salt and pepper, some chili flakes and some garlic salt. Just watered down ketchup I've popped in there, and then we're going to put the taco beans in with them. As you can see, got their own sauce. So beans are coming up to the boil now, so the rabbit's still a little bit warm. We're going to pop it in here, give it a nice stir round, and just give it a good coating with this sauce. Okay, so we're at the final part of our little cooking session today in the country. We've now got our rabbit, it's up to temperature. As I say, I'm just going to pop some of the mixture into here with a spoon. We stand like this.
Kev has turned up now that all the hard work's done, to enjoy the fruits of our labour.
Thank you very much. Here we go then. Oh, it's gone for a walk.
Can Paul come out with us all the time?
We brought the wine. Anyone bring the wine?
Exactly.
Well, that was lovely, Paul. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to bring you with us every single time we come shooting now.
Right, love to.
So that was a very enjoyable end to a very successful night shooting. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Rich Saunders putting the thermal kit to great use on the rabbits there. Next up, I'm taking a look at the new DRS from FX Airguns. I've got a really interesting gun here this week. It's the FX DRS. Now this is the classic model with the synthetic stock. Now there's also a walnut option plus a really sophisticated pro model. Now this particular version has a recommended retail price of £753.99, and I think that is very good value for such a refined air rifle. Now, this gun may look pretty basic, but don't be fooled because it has some very innovative features. The key one being the fact that its air tank is actually wrapped around the barrel. Now, apart from improving this gun's really clean lines, it also enhances barrel rigidity, which in turn can improve potential for accuracy. You will also notice what looks like the box magazine of a bullet firing rifle sticking out from the underside of the DRS's stock. Now that is actually the plenum, which has been really cleverly designed into the gun's overall aesthetic. Now apart from having some rather unusual features, the DRS is also very light. Now in this version, which is the 500mm barrel synthetic stock model, it weighs just 2.3 kilos unscoped and is 93 centimeters long before you fit a silencer. The ambidextrous stock of the Classic has clean flowing lines and a long forend with a really nice flared section at the front. Now, there's no stippling or checkering on the forend and also none on that palm filling pistol grip. However, the soft touch finish of this handle is actually very grippy. Behind the pistol grip is a deep recess which really cradles the base of the thumb. Now, this sweeps back into a well-defined cheek piece with a nice high comb which ensures good eye scope alignment. Now, the rear section of the stock is finished with a fairly simple but really soft rubber butt pad, which makes for a very comfortable contact point. The DRS looks and feels to be very tidily engineered. Now, the metalwork has been given the Swedish gun maker's customary black finish, which works very well with the synthetic stock. Now, the breech block has even been given some really neat contours that reflect the lines of the handle, which I think is a really nice touch. Caliber options for the DRS are 177 and 22 plus 0.25 in FAC. Now, the Classic model has the standard version of FX's famous superior STX barrel liner, and the Pro model comes with the heavy version. Now, as I've already mentioned, what looks like a chunky barrel shroud actually incorporates the air tank. Now, it doesn't provide a lot of sound suppression, but it is equipped with a 1/2 inch UNF thread, so you can screw on a silencer. The 177 version runs a 16 shot magazine. Now, the 22 is a 14 shot, 0.25 is 12 shots. Now, this magazine is actually a scaled down version, which keeps it low profile, and that means you don't have to use particularly high scope mounts to prevent it from fouling. Incidentally, scope attachment on the Classic is via 11mm dovetail rails. The Pro model comes with a Picatinny rail. Cocking and loading are taken care of by a really smooth side lever action, which unfortunately can't be reversed for left-handers. Now, it features quite a slim but comfortable drop-down handle, which is well positioned for intuitive operation as long as you're right-handed. Now, the mechanism has worked without a hitch during my weeks of testing. It's just been really slick, really dependable, and has kept the shots coming. Now, I'm very fussy about triggers, and I really like the two-stage unit on the DRS. Now, the blade is a really nice match type design, and that can be adjusted for height and angle. Now, there's also adjustment for the first and second stage of the actual trigger mechanism, but I've got to say that this one left the factory absolutely spot on, just as all triggers should. Now, the first stage is relatively short, but it comes to an obvious stop before a crisp, utterly predictable and completely creep-free second stage break. The DRS's safety catch is simple but very effective. Positioned at the rear right-hand side of the action, it's safely away from the trigger, but still very easy to access. Now, you simply pull it back into the safe position, and then you just need to thumb it forwards when you're ready to take the shot. The DRS has an AMP Mark II regulator, and it is pretty consistent. Now, the sub 12 177 caliber review gun is churning out about 11.6 foot-pounds, and consistency was within 5 feet per second over a string of 10 shots, and that was with pellets taken straight from the tin. Now, the pressure inside the 208cc cylinder is displayed on a gauge on the left-hand side of the stock. Maximum fill pressure is 230 bar, and from that the review gun has been returning about 150 shots. Now, that's pretty good for a gun with such a discreet air tank. Now, you can actually increase shot capacity by upgrading to a carbon fibre tank, which has a maximum fill pressure of 250 bar. Now when it is time to refill, you simply plug in using the supplied probe and the inlet is positioned just behind the air gauge. There is no questioning this FX's ability to put pellets in the right place. Now I've got absolute faith in the STX barrel, and combined with really consistent power output and that brilliant trigger, it is getting great accuracy from the DRS. Now, it doesn't seem to be too pellet fussy, but H&N Barracuda 8s have probably just about edged it in my tests. Now, with them, the DRS has been shooting very tight single hole groups at 20 meters, keyhole single hole groups at 30 meters, and grouping is still within 20 millimeters from center to center at 40 meters. So that's a quick look at the FX DRS Classic, which I think is going to be really popular with hunters. It's a great looking air gun. It's super light, so it's no burden to carry around in the field, and it's also very accurate. Now for shooters who like to fettle their guns, there are all sorts of extras, including slug power and match trigger kits, and also a higher capacity magazine. Now, it's got all of the features that I've mentioned and all of that, and it's still incredibly competitively priced for such a refined air gun. I really do think it's going to be a big hit. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for in this week's episode, but as ever, I'll be back with more in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and do check out our subscription offers for Airgun World magazine. Now you should be able to find details of that in the show description. While you're there, also sign up for the Airgun World newsletter, which will keep you bang up to date with everything that's going on in the magazine. Finally, if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits that you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership. As I said, I'm back again with more in a fortnight. In the meantime, enjoy your shooting and stay safe.
BASC provides for me as a member one voice.
It's the one organisation that does it all for me.
BASC is community.
We are BASC.
We are BASC.
We are BASC.